I record this. I tried to record it in the last stream, but I didn't like how it turned out. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna show you how I took an account that was literally hard stuck bronze for the past, I don't know how many seasons, with one of the lowest MMRs I've ever seen. It had like, someone said 900 MMR or some shit like that. And we moved it to Diamond using a strategy that we came up with, Flash Smite TRYNDAMERE, a strategy that I've ironed out and basically played it in every situation, every time. Even if the enemy knew it was coming, I took Smite and would intentionally try to cheese enemy junglers while simultaneously winning top lane. So, before we get into this, a couple rules about this strategy. First things first, in the champ select, when you're picking your champion, if you pick TRYNDAMERE, make sure that you don't show the smite in the champ select. So if you queue for top and you want to play Smite TRYNDAMERE, show teleport, ignite, or whatever, and then at 0 seconds when the game's about to load, switch it to Smite. That's like my first big tip from doing this climb, is that it'll make especially your low guys, your teammates will tilt. They'll even go as far as to switch to Smite randomly, or to switch to a proper summoner randomly, because they think that you're just forcing them out of jungle or whatever. That's what will happen if you don't do that. That's like the first thing. So you already know, if I'm giving you that info right out the gate for this strategy, this is a cheesy ass strat. I'm doing you a solid teaching you this, because the amount of people that dodged, trolled, switched off of Smite and forced me to play jungle was damn high. So remember, show teleport or ignite before the game starts, and then switch it to Smite at the last second. You gotta cheese your team before you can even cheese the enemy team. Yeah, so you know you're in for a good one right off the get-go when we start talking about that. Now, I'm gonna pull up my op.gg real quick just to show you the runes that I ran, that I decided to run before we get started. This game that I'm going to review is a blue side diamond game, and then I'll show a red side diamond game to show that this is possible all the way up to diamond, and the types of scenarios that you can get yourself into right off the get-go to give you huge leads and carry your team. Okay, so I tried all sorts of stuff. I tried grasp. This was what I went with, and you're welcome to change it and do whatever you want, but I think resolve is essential. I think you need the armor, and I think you need second wind. The reason why is because this strategy has you taking machete level 1, which is super weak in lane. The resolve gets you through lane as TRYNDAMERE. TRYNDAMERE has high sustain, and through most any matchup, like I played throughout this entire climb, I played every matchup from Teemo to Pantheon, some matchups harder than other. The resolve will help you get through those lanes. And then I did Fleet Feet, Triumph, Alacrity, Coup de Grace, or Last Stand, depending on the matchup. This is very important that you at least have the resolve tree. Otherwise, your jungle, like taking the first jungle camp, is going to be weaker because you don't have the armor from the runes. The armor helps with the jungling, okay, that you're going to be doing. So, you're sitting here, we've already talked about the runes, we've already talked about the pre-game strat. Probably wondering, why does this work? Basically, what this is this is taking advantage of TRYNDAMERE's early level strengths. Level 1 through 3, TRYNDAMERE's pretty fucking strong early. We've come up with a cheese strategy designed against the enemy jungler, so that your jungler has a huge advantage going into the early mid game, and then you will eventually win your lane. As you know, if things go really well early, you could just dominate your lane anyways with the machete start, and if things don't go so hot, you can still just play Tiamat and be like a proxy Singed and get huge, and you will win a lot more often than you'll lose doing this strategy, because with the machete, that's what we start with this build. We start machete. You'll get bonus XP with Machete Smite. You'll get bonus XP from the jungle camps that you take. This strategy got us, and again, this account was, like I said going into this account was, I'll show it one more time just so you guys know that I'm not lying. This was done all on stream. This account was hard stuck bronze, like low bronze, by the bronze 4. So 900 MMR. We eventually made it to diamond, 68% win rate when all was said and done. I truly believe with an unranked account, I could get to diamond with like 80% win rate. Without an account that had like previous history, and now that I've figured out this strategy. A lot of the experience of the strategy was learning how to win with it. The early game invades, getting them right, the itemization, all that stuff, figuring it out. So there was like a learning curve too, because it was such a weird strat. So first thing you're gonna do when you decide to play this strategy is you're gonna leave base, whether you're on blue side or red side. I'm gonna show you a blue side open and then a red side open, just so you see what I try to do. Leave base immediately. This is in diamond, so people will actually guard their buffs.
30 seconds until
Drop a ward, spin over the wall, go away. Try to back in a spot where people won't interrupt you, where they won't know to interrupt you, if you get fucked with anyways, like I did here. And immediately head right back to red. You don't give a shit if the enemy team knows that you're going to do the buff. You don't care. You're TRYNDAMERE. Your dick is huge. This is a high risk, high reward strategy. People trying this strategy, you're going to feed a lot. But if you learn to do it right and you learn how to win the early game, you can give yourself a huge advantage going into the mid game. Which at that point, if you lose, you fucking suck at TRYNDAMERE. Alright. So, running back over. 130, red spawns. You have the ward down. You can tell if the jungler starts red or if people are watching red. Here, I know that Riven wards. I intentionally don't go over to red until I've timed it out. This is just a mental thing. I just know that she's like right about here when I spin over the wall, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I wait. I'm just timing this out. This is just game knowledge. As soon as she shows, I'm pretty much spinning over the wall. That's the goal. They assume that you're not taking red. Players are noobs. They've never seen this cheese. And also, League players play on autopilot. If you start here, and the enemy team isn't immediately collapsing both mid and top, you can get this buff. As you see right here. Don't care that Riven's coming. Don't give a fuck. Sit there, pray you get some crits. Focus on getting the buff down. Spin through, smite it. And then once Riven expends third Q, I'm gonna attack. Elise collapses. We're level 2. Elise is level 2. Elise is useless. Can't do anything. I'm TRYNDAMERE. I still have spin. So we just wait. Riven keeps chasing, so I auto spin away. This is the type of shit. This is happening in Diamond. This was the last day of the climb. This was still, I was still getting first bloods and still getting fed all the way to Diamond. Twitch chat watched, they watched the whole fucking thing. So you will get massive leads all the time with this strategy, especially from reds or from blue side. This blue stands for bottom side, blue team, right? Red is the opposite, right? Red's top side. So red side's top. So we got a blue side start, invade for the red buff. You'll get some cheeses done a lot because junglers love to start blue side anyways. And they love to start red side from if they're on the blue side too. So it goes both ways. Red stands for top, yep. Easy. So now we go top lane. Elise can't do anything. It's not like she's gonna gank us without a red buff. A level 2 Elise gank is weak. We just farm up and play our game. We now have a huge lead. We have red buff. We have sustain from the red buff. We're TRYNDAMERE with level 2. And then we just play out like we normally would, like a TRYNDAMERE top would, just with an added twist. And specifically for this matchup, you know, every matchup with TRYNDAMERE, if you're a top lane TRYNDAMERE player, you should know most of them. Obviously with Riven, just wait for her to engage you or waste important cooldowns, and then just go in. And then that's it. And then we just dominate from here on out. If you're a good TRYNDAMERE player, this type of lead you should never be throwing. You can also smite the siege creep with this strategy. So I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead. Obviously, we're not gonna lose lane because it's super easy. We bait the Riven to engage us so that she eats a Evelyn gank, and then we back. Now, core item Tiamat. This is the mid game. Well, not even the mid game. Early to mid game. Our goal is to get a Tiamat. We don't really care about the machete or upgrading it ASAP or anything like that. We just go straight into Tiamat. The reason why is we want to cut the wave like a proxy TRYNDAMERE and gimp the enemy jungler ASAP. That's the goal. Okay? So we go back to top lane. clear top. If Riven doesn't want to interact with us, I really don't give a fuck. We go behind the tower, clear, take the enemy's jungle, take the wave, go into the enemy's jungle, ward it, win red, go back to lane. I want you to notice the rotation. Get behind the tower, you can take a camp. Grab the wave again, you can take a camp. Go back to your lane, clear it, you can now go behind the wave again. It's a rotation. A proxy singed, except this time, imagine if the singed could just beat your ass if you go and fuck with him in the jungle instead of running away every time. He can actually have that option. So there, easy dive, because the jungler wanted to dive the guy. And now look, just like Proxy Singed, we get access to the XP sooner. We're now able to gimp the jungler, which is something that Proxy Singed doesn't do. He doesn't take camps. And we make the top laner really susceptible to dives because we're TRYNDAMERE and we can dive really, really, really easily. A lot of people thought this strategy was a joke. Maybe it's a joke strategy if people are trying in League of Legends, but the sad reality is that most players play on autopilot. The fact that this strategy got me to Diamond with a pretty high win rate with me learning it halfway through the climb is a textbook example of how autopilot the League community is. So without question, yeah, it shouldn't work, but it does. Pretty much every time. Like, sometimes you're going to fuck up the invade, but you can still just lane to Tiamat and do this later, unless your lane opponents are good, which they often aren't. And you can see, cut the wave, Riven TPs, back, and then I buy, I think this game I'm going to buy, it looks like I buy to play, to upgrade the jungle item. Eventually I stopped doing this, though. Normally I would just go Berserker Greaves, Tabbies, Merc Treads, and then I would go Phantom Dancer, and I would literally just keep the machete and sell it later in the game. I would stop upgrading it. I don't even care about the challenging smite anymore. I literally just played this strategy macro oriented. And people say, oh, well, you're not getting any value out of smite. I say bullshit. You can use the smite to take the enemy red. You can use the smite to win objectives. You can use the smite to help you with rift early. You can use the smite to steal baron like I did in this challenge a bunch. And you can use the smite to get your team to do baron earlier than normal, because you'll have the smite and you can pretty much guarantee that your jungler isn't a moron and misses the smite because it's on you and you're the highest level in the room, which I always, if I miss smite, I was like, wow, I suck at smiting. And it's my fault. You literally take the game. If you pull off this early invade, you literally have the game in your hands throughout the entire game. Someone asked, why not spellbook? That's actually a pretty good question. Spellbook, I feel like we lose too much value in our runes. Spellbook's going to be nerfed soon anyways. I just don't think we need it. I don't like switching the smite. I don't need to switch the smite to anything. Personally, I didn't feel like I needed to. So, I just kept it. And I would use it if the jungler showed up and tried to contest the camp. I'd just smite it from him. Like here, I smite the golems to make it faster. Go back, clear the wave again, and just repeat. At this point, we are level 9. Riven is level 6. Elise is level 5. This is what you're creating. You're creating a massive favorable situation for your team. Yeah, your team will still lose sometime. Yeah, they'll find ways to lose, trust me. This is 10 minutes in. We're 3 levels ahead, 4 levels ahead of the enemy jungle. We're gimping top and jungle doing this strategy. Okay, Soul's level 9 too, but he isn't also, he should be less XP than us at this point. Yeah, he's almost a full level behind us, our mid laner, who's also doing incredibly well this game. He's 2-0. So we're almost a full level ahead of him, and we're taking tower, and we're gimping the enemy jungle. So even mids who are crushing, they can't keep up with your XP. So pretty much every person on the enemy team will be massively behind you. Even if the opposing mid is doing great, it won't take very long until you have level leads over that guy too, with this strategy. No one can keep up with TRYNDAMERE when he gets a lead with this strategy. No one. This is the most high risk, high reward strategy in the game. It can also cause you to feed out of your mind, but this is the highest one. Like, there's nothing like this right now. I wouldn't say it's OP or anything, but it's pretty damn strong for solo queue. When you go behind the enemy tower to get the wave, if Irving comes, do you engage? It's all dependent on how strong you are. If you can clear the wave in front of her and leave, you'll just get better judgment over time. Nothing is black and white in this game. So here I just run mid, top is shoved in, nothing to do. Go in and knock some towers down. As soon as my wave comes back to me, I'll go back to top and grab it. Wave starts coming back to me, I go push it in again because red buff is spawning. Take golems, take red, take chickens. We've pushed top, take everything from Elise, she's level 6, now we're level 11. Now we're over a level ahead of Aurelion Sol, who's crushing. And we just keep going. Now we go to Rift. Or I don't think we go to Rift right away. I think we push because our team's pressuring. Dive Vladimir. We're level 11. We can just stand there and hit, you know, take all of his damage, and then we can wait for stopwatch and his pool. That's how fed we are. Upgrade the sweeper, push in lanes, hit tower. Itemization. Here I upgraded the jungle item. Now I would just recommend going for like Black Cleaver if you want an item. You could go Phantom Dancer if you want to be harder to kill. You can go Merc Treads, QSS if you want to be harder to catch, to CC, because you're at this point you're just more concerned with pushing in waves and cutting and grabbing the jungle camps or whatever it is you want to do. And you just use that advantage to just keep farming and getting bigger. And take towers when they let you. Here, I do Rift. I can solo Rift. You can solo Rift really fucking early. I generally like to wait for a while. I stick Rift in mid to try to break a tower early. It's probably a bad Rift, but I don't care, because this game, I'm just trying to end it quickly. We break tower, break inhib, top waves pushing to our tower. Never let farm go, as you can see. I'm always looking for farm. Red spawning again. Grab red. Team's shitting on everybody in large part because of what we did early. Jungle couldn't gank bottom, so our bot lane wins and it's unimpacted by the enemy jungle because he simply can't do anything. Our jungler gets fed off of it. Our mid is guaranteed to not get ganked from the jungle. Enemy jungle's pretty much useless. Enemy jungle's level 9, we are level 14. Next highest in the room is level 11. Vladimir tries to hold. I ult for some reason because I'm a noob. I don't even need to. Take inhib tower. Itemization. I would recommend dropping the jungle item and again swapping that out for Black Cleaver, so you would just go, you would have a machete just there and then you could sell it later, but basically you would go you would have the Tiamat, Black Cleaver, Phantom Dancer, and then you can finish off the Tiamat item into something if you want. You go like Ravenous Hydra, you can go Titanic, then you could go Death's Dance, and then you can go fucking Maw, like the Grasp, like Fog's Grasp build. So you're basically you get super huge and you get unkillable. It's just like with GP when I would say, if you get fed on GP, just buy a Triforce and Asterix, and that way you can't throw. It's the same concept with TRYNDAMERE. You're basically just buying items that make it really hard for you to kill and really hard for you to throw. You'll have high CDR, and you'll be damn near unkillable. How the fuck are you gonna lose? And you're TRYNDAMERE and you have an ult that makes you unable to die. How are you going to lose with this lead? Really? Other than your teammates just like inting 4v5 or something when you're like off on a split. So, basically, even if your team dies, you can always walk over and steal the Baron if the enemy team goes to take Baron. You'll have a massive lead, and it's fun as shit. You grab the game by the balls level 1 like you used to when people played TRYNDAMERE with Flash Ignite or like Red Paw and shit. It's fun as hell. So before I shut this down, I want to show you guys a blue side start real quick, just to show that where was the blue side start game? This was the one. Yes, I just want to show you the blue side start. If you're on the red team and if you want to go and invade blue side. So I just want to show you this. We don't have to go through the whole gameplay like on the other side. I've shown you pretty much how to play this strategy out if you get a lead. And then now I'm going to show you an example of if you're on red team, what you do, like how it looks or how it can look. So same thing as always, leave base right away. Again, we're in diamond, so people are actually watching their camps. Fun fact, most of you guys, no one will even watch the fucking camps. Remember not to spin randomly when you're going to this point, because if something I learned, if you spin randomly and someone's in a bush, you can't spin away from them and you'll feed. I made that mistake. Here, I can't get the ward in safely to this point, so I just put the ward here so I have information. And it's very important that you poke around and try your damnedest to steal a buff. Without me stealing this buff, without this strategy, I would have 100% lost this game. 100%. This game is my argument for this strategy. This game was played yesterday, and what wound up happening was we got super fed. I was saying basically there's no way we can throw this. I think my editor will do a video on this, but basically I was like, there's no way we can throw this. And my team actually started trying to throw it to the point of where I had to steal Baron 1v5 in order to win the game. The only way this is possible, the Baron steal is even possible with TRYNDAMERE, is if I had SMITE on TRYNDAMERE, which I did this game. So I just spun in and stole the Baron and saved the game. This would not have happened without the strategy. Would not have won this game. Would have been a tragic loss. So anyways, fuck with the enemy's blue. Like I always say, you gotta make sure that if you have a weak jungle and a weak top lane, you definitely need to fuck with them. You don't have to just go in and int, but you should poke at them with TRYNDAMERE and just save your spin. So here, go in, they know that I'm coming, I don't give a fuck. I go in battle Nasus, delay the Sejuani start, make her scared a little bit, make her sweat a little bit, put the pressure on them. May not want to try this at home, this is kind of risky. Play chicken with Nasus because I'm TRYNDAMERE. Love playing chicken with newbies. And yeah, you have a machete, but you are, you know, you're TRYNDAMERE versus Nasus level 1. So there, we don't even get the buff, but we find a way to make the enemy team tilt. We force the jungler to start this side of the map, which he may or may not want to do. We get a first blood anyways, and we put pressure on the enemy team and put them in an uncomfortable spot. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Sejuani has only cleared one camp. She's only cleared blue. In terms of jungle, you've now, you know, if you're a strong laner and you know how to play TRYNDAMERE, you won't really have an issue getting fed on TRYNDAMERE anyways in lane, even with the machete start, especially low elo guys. Why not use this strategy, fuck with the enemy jungler too, give your jungler a huge lead. He's done blue, wolves. Sejuani's done blue and is now up top side wasting her flash, can't even kill me. That's a huge advantage in solo queue, and it does transition into a massive lead where our team knocks down a bunch of objectives. They try to throw later, but because of the strategy we have the smite and we're able to save it. Same thing as before. I'll speed through this real quick, play the lane out. I'm cocky and arrogant, so I stay with no fucking... Oh! Just for good measure, let's show this kill real quick. I get the Nasus to kill himself. Kill yourself, Nasus! Kill yourself! He kills himself on the minions. And this is like, you know, this is the type of stuff that I try to do with this strategy. Is, you know, there I shove in, the Nasus is behind, I trade with him because he thinks he can kill me, but I'm TRYNDAMERE and I do really well early, and then he just kills himself on the tower. Get the Tiamat. And then we transition into cut the wave, go behind the tower here, obviously saving our spin. And we plan on fucking with the enemy jungler. You can see we're arrogant here, but we're level 5. Nasus only level 3 at that point. We keep harassing the enemy jungle. We're saving our spin. This is proxy Singe-esque type of shit through and through. The more the jungle's time's wasted, the better for us. Early level 6, and we just repeat. And do our, you know, we just farm up our items. And that's it. That's it. I keep top lane interaction to a minimum. I focus more on just getting mega farm and forcing the enemy top laner to farm under tower and chase me around the map. The top laner chase you, run away. Run away. He's missing farm, just like Proxy Singed. If he's going into the jungle, smack him a couple times and then spin over the wall. Just save your spin and run away. If the mid laner collapses, run away. Give your mid lane a lead. Just like you would on a split pusher, but you're just getting in the enemy's ass earlier. So, yeah, a couple thoughts that I have about this strategy before I shut it down. Yeah, I could show the Baron Steel on this. My team dies, shove mid. We'll put the vision on so you can see. This is a perfect example of this strategy in a nutshell. Somehow Anivia has like solo held this game up by just destroying my team in team fights. He's like 11, 3, and 5. He's level 15. But their jungle is level 11. I'm level 14. I'm TRYNDAMERE. And TRYNDAMERE with SMITE is pretty good at Baron stealing if he has the lead. Why? Because he can't fucking die. I spin in there, just press R and hope the shit works and save the game. If the enemy team gets Baron, we lose. If enemy team gets Baron, we lose. Only made everything from the early game to the late game. It's all possible with this strategy. And a couple things I want to say before I shut this down. I did this strat every game on autopilot into every matchup just to prove that it works. And just to have fun with something that was inventive and new, that I hadn't seen anybody, like the strategy, at least in terms of cutting the tower early and having the whole thing hinge around the smite. I've never seen anybody doing this. I mean, they just haven't. I've been playing this game for a while. Everyone was like, "The fuck is this guy have smite and a machete for?" No. Every game. You don't have to do it. You don't have to pick it every time. You can just say fuck that shit. If you get like a Teemo or a Kennen and you don't want to play the lane with a machete into that, that's fine. I did it. And most cases it went pretty well. Teemo can stop you from splitting. Kennen can stop you from splitting. So you're really hoping that the early game level 1 goes your way, because that's about the only time that you're gonna get any value anyways. Otherwise, just take Ignite and try to kill the Teemo. You can choose to avoid those lanes and just play standard, or you can just not pick TRYNDAMERE into those lanes. But that's just something that I want to throw out there, is like, you don't have to do this strat every time. You can also say, you can even say, all right, well, if I'm not on blue team, then I'm not doing this strategy, because I think it's a lot stronger on blue side than red side. I think red side I can make it work, and I obviously did it every time, but I'm pretty sure my win rate would be significantly lower from this side than it would be from blue side, because taking an enemy red buff is way more impactful than taking an enemy blue buff. Also, your junglers, if you want to know how to play with this strategy as a jungle, how about you just farm? And if the enemy jungle shows up top, you just take the enemy's jungle and then resume farming. The amount of junglers that I saw lose with this massive lead is unbearably cringy to me. Jungle as a role, junglers are really dumb. I'm sorry. The only thing that the junglers seem to be good at is you know, mechanically executing a gank. But in terms of macro, junglers are fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. The fact that so many junglers would actually, over time, lose this massive lead that you were generating by taking camps was astounding to me. Seriously, if you're a jungle and you see a TRYNDAMERE doing this strategy and it's working, literally just AFK farm your jungle top, or from bottom to top, over and over again. And you will have a massive lead over the enemy jungle throughout the whole game. If you're just like autopilot trying to force funky invades with the TRYNDAMERE, like, you're a dumbass. Just literally farm and you get a free win. That was always crazy to me. Other things that I'm going to say is just have fun with it. This is something unique that no one else is doing. That's actually pretty damn effective and takes advantage of the tendency of League of Legends players to go, well, I don't have to pay attention level 1. I don't have to I don't have to do anything except what I want to do. I follow the meta. This is like anti-meta through and through, and it's literally like a 1v9 strat. Any strategy that gets you a high solo win rate to diamond, in a time where I think this game has become less and less and less individually skill oriented, with a champion who's got one of the lowest win rates and the lowest win rate role in the game, like the shittiest impact role in the game, and it has a high win rate to diamond solo with an account that was like MMR shafted. That's a good strategy, dude. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's a really solid strat. People will underestimate it, but I have the results to back it up, and now you have the guide. So there you go. Share at your own risk. Just like a poker guide, I waited until I myself had succeeded before sharing it. And I say just like a poker guide, the more people you tell about this, the less effective it becomes. The more people that understand how it works, the more effective, or the less effective that it becomes. So yeah, how to counter this strat, where to stand, what to do, you know, ways to avoid me snowballing this type of thing, what mids, tops, and jungles should do. I ain't telling you that shit. Fuck that. This is already information enough. If you're too stupid to solve the counter, then I think I've done my job. Alright, cool. I think I did this successfully now. So you guys go into solo queue, feed it up with TRYNDAMERE, SMITE top, and get reported. Oh, also, fun fact, I probably had 1 million chat restrictions because I flamed everybody with this strat, and it was a great break from being a nice human. So anyways, you're all amazing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, obviously share it or not. If you want to keep a strat secret, it is actually a legit strat that is backed up. This is the closest thing to 100 games to diamond you guys are gonna get anytime soon. So shut the fuck up about it. Jesus, these things take a lot of time to do. All right. I'll see you next time. I love you. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace. I'm a crackers. Love you guys.